and welcome to the My Clayco studio. I am Tegan.
And I am Carla.
And today we are going to be showing you a heap of Christmas DIY, decor, earring and gift ideas.
Whether you're a maker, a small business owner, or if you simply just want to get into some Christmas crafting, then we hope that this video inspires your creativity to get you ready for the holiday season.
We are going to be using the xTool M1 for some of our crafting today. It is a laser cutter, but it also has blade cutting functionality, so it can take on projects like you would a Cricut or a Silhouette.
We are obviously polymer clay artists and jewelry makers, so we will of course be incorporating those into today's make.
Now, if you have been thinking about upping your crafting game and want to check out the xTool M1, you can do so via the link in our description. It is a partner link and does help to support our channel.
All right, I think that's enough talking. Let's get into the first project.
Now, it wouldn't be the My Clayco YouTube channel if we didn't start with some festive earrings. So Carla is behind me here. She has jumped onto Creative Fabrica and she is going to be scrolling through there to find some nice festive earrings we can make. If you haven't used Creative Fabrica before, you need to get on there because they just have thousands of things that you can create. I find that almost all of them actually have a commercial license. So whether you are just creating for yourself or if you do have a business, you can go ahead and you can use most of the files that you will find on here. All right, let's see what she's up to.
So as Tegan said, I've jumped onto Creative Fabrica and I found a pair of earrings that I really like. They are a pair of snowflakes. So I'm just going to jump into this one. I think they'll be really easy for us to cut as well for our first project. So I'm just going to download that one and we're going to get making.
So we start off by importing the snowflake earring file we downloaded. And then from there we select the material we will be using, which for this one is 3mm basswood. We then line up our earrings where we want them and make sure it's set to cut and go to process. Perfect.
So the snowflakes turned out amazing, and because I learnt that trace function, I think I now know how I can actually import my own image in and see if I can cut some earrings from my own image, which will be amazing. All right, let's give it a go.
So Carla imported one of her own designs, which is actually one of the designs she drew for our 3D printed polymer clay cutters. But we thought it would also work perfectly as a wooden earring component. So we just went into the trace function so that it would separate all of the bits of the image for us and ungrouped it all. We then grouped the center part to make it easier to set it up as one single component. We were then able to set it up to engrave the center bit while cutting the outside bit. Although you can drill the holes for your earring finding components afterwards, we thought we might as well have the xTool do the job for us. So we just created a circle and also set that to cut. We then duplicated the earring to make a pair and we were ready to go. All done. Let's throw back over to Carla to finish these off.
I absolutely love that we were able to use our faux Christmas tree design to make our own laser cut earrings. They turned out really, really cute. And I'm actually pairing them with our star hook toppers. So they look like they have a little star on top of the Christmas tree. So I'm just going to put this second one together. So I've been resisting the urge to paint these baby pink and resin dome them, but I think I might do it. Is that crazy? Is that crazy? No, I think I'll do it. They'll look cute, right? Okay. I'm giving in to the urge. I'm going to paint it pink. This is a super baby pink. Okay, no turning back. Oh yeah, I think this is the right decision. I mean, we're my Clayco. You gotta paint things pink, right? Oh no, Tegan caught me.
What are you doing?
So this is going to be a surprise, but I'm actually painting them pink, and I'm going to resin dome them.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah, I mean, they just look so cute.
You know I'm stealing them from you, right?
They're meant for you. So, okay, I have 2 pink snowflakes. I'm going to go and resin them now.
When you are using resin, it is super important to wear the right safety gear like gloves, the right kind of mask and goggles. We do have another video on this. We will pop the link in the description in case you want to check it out. Running a flame over your resin will help pop any air bubbles hiding on the surface. It's then time for us to cure our pieces. We normally cure them under our UV light for 4 to 5 minutes. Love them.
Okay, that was definitely the right decision. So we are first and foremost polymer clay artists. So we're going to jump back into Creative Fabrica and see if we can find some kind of wooden earring component that we can actually pair with polymer clay. Let's go. So we found this one that we think would work well with a polymer clay backing. I'm actually going to make it 30 millimeters so we can use our 30 millimeter cutter to cut out the polymer clay circle for the back. So I'm just going to pop it into the xTool program to get it laser cut.
So once again, we just import our file. In this case, we want to use a polymer clay backing instead of the wooden one, so we just deleted it. We then resized the earring and popped in a hole for our earring findings. We then changed it to the cut setting, copy and pasted it, and flipped the second side so we had a mirrored pair. Alright, we were again ready to go.
So we've just finished our earrings. Let's take a look. They work perfectly. They're so good. I just can't believe the tiny details. Oh, I'm going to poke that out with a needle tool. Yeah.
We then did grab our needle tool that we ordinarily use as a polymer clay tool. It helped us pop out those tiny pieces of wood that were nestled in there.
So we have these pieces that we laser cut, and the detailing on them is insane. Very excited. We're actually going to put some polymer clay behind them, of course, because we are polymer clay artists. So I've actually made these so that they would fit a 30 millimeter cutter. So as you can see, perfect fit. All I'm going to do is cut out 2 circles. And then I'll bake these ones up so that I can then attach them to the backs of these ones. Okay, I've got my little clay discs out of the oven, and as you can see, they match up beautifully with these ones. So I'm going to super glue the backs of these on just so that they're properly connected. I'm just going to use standard super glue for this one because it is polymer clay to wood. And let's get into it.
Now, if you do want to do something similar to this but don't have a laser cutter, you will actually find a lot of craft store stock components like this, and they're also a heap on Etsy you can check out. It is of course nice though to make something that's unique to you. The wooden element can add a nice point of difference to your pieces, and it really does create a cool multi-dimensional effect when teamed with a coloured background like we have here. The other bonus is that both wood and polymer clay are lightweight, so they won't be weighing your ears down. Now, we'd already made a few different styles of earrings, but I wanted to make one last pair using the xTool's metal engraving function. So I found a pair of stainless steel angel charms we had handy and decided to try custom engraving them. Yes, I probably picked the smallest charm you could find, but no matter, I just zoomed in until I could actually see what I was doing. I thought I'd once again use Carla's faux Christmas tree design and engrave the little folk details on the angel. I again used the trace function, ungrouped it, and isolated just the inside details. It was at this point that I truly realized how tiny this was going to be and wasn't 100% sure if it would work, but thought I'd give it a go anyway. It didn't leave me in suspense too long and we were done in less than a minute. I had clearly underestimated the xTool. That tiny design actually came out perfect, and it was then back over to Carla to create some cute dangles with them.
So we have a few pairs of earrings made now, and we thought our next project it would be really cool to make a candle holder. So let's go have a look on Creative Fabrica and see what they have. Okay, it's done. Let's have a look. Amazing. So we might just bring a little bit more color to this by adding some polymer clay to it.
So Carla then pieced the candle holder together using some wood glue.
Okay, the candle holder project, I actually glued the base together even though it does slot in just to make it a bit more secure, and I was wood gluing this up the top anyway. So I just glued both pieces. The base wood was a little bit bowed, which was fine for laser cutting it, but in terms of gluing it, I just wanted it to have contact. So I've done this little clamp setup. I protected my wood just with some cardboard and then used bulldog clips. So once I take those off, it's just a really nice flat clean piece. Now we are going to be putting polymer clay behind this. I thought if I did a nice light polymer clay, maybe with some glitter in it, I think it would look nice if I actually made this darker. So I'm going to get some acrylic paint pens and we're going to get to decorating this one. To colour them in, we really like to use Ohuhu pens on our polymer clay. So I'm actually going to use them on the wood because they're also really good for the wood. I think I'm going to do the snowflakes in silver, get like this bronze colour for the reindeer, and then I think I'll do red detailing for the little scarf. All right, let's get to it. So I have some frost white glitter scraps, which are great for Christmas because they've, as you can see, got glitter all through it, and it's almost like a snowscape. So I think it will look great behind this. So I'm going to go cut out a circle piece that fits behind here, and then we can glue them together. My clay disc is out of the oven. As you can see, it's got lots of glitter in it and it fits perfectly behind my piece. So I have to glue this one. Unlike the little boxes that is wood on wood, so I used wood glue, this one is polymer clay to wood, so I can just use a super glue. Our favorite is the Loctite super glue with the gel control. because it's easier to get out. All right, let's glue the back of this.
All right, Tegan's gonna pick out some wood and I'm gonna jump onto Creative Fabrica and have a look through, see if I can find any Christmas ornaments that we can make. So we're gonna actually make a Christmas activity for our kids. We love the idea of doing Christmas ornaments, but ones that they can color in. So we're gonna have a look to see what's on there and see if there's anything cool that's kind of like a coloring in book, but wooden Christmas ornaments. Fun.
So we found the perfect Christmas ornament set on Creative Fabrica, and once we had it all imported, it was time to get them arranged on our wooden sheet and get cutting.
So we have these cute little ornaments for our kids to color in, but now I think that we should maybe use one of our own designs and create our own Christmas decorations.
Yeah, that would be wicked.
So the trace function got put to use once again, and we set up a couple of baubles, one with the centerpiece engraved and the other with it cut out. We then fired up the xTool again, and in a few short minutes our ornaments were complete. All we then had to do was add some string to them. Our kids loved the ornament colouring activity, and we just know they will be a much appreciated gift for the grandparents.
So I think we should make some bows.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to change this over from laser to blade. So maybe if we do that and then pick some designs.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good.
Before I switched to the blade, I wanted to give the machine a quick clean, so rubbed it down with some isopropyl alcohol. I also took the opportunity to give the laser a quick clean using a neat trick I had seen used on Silhouette School. You simply pop your phone in the machine with the camera on selfie mode so you can see what you're doing. Her channel has lots of great tips like this, definitely worth checking out if you're a crafter. I could then pop the base plate in for the cutting mat to sit on. We keep all of our screws for the base plate in this handy storage unit, so we never run the risk of losing them. Once I'd screwed the base plate in, it was time to find some bows. While I was looking for bows, I actually stumbled across this bow making tutorial on Creative Fabrica. I actually didn't even realize they had tutorials, so that was a cool find. I thought this bow looked pretty cute, so I downloaded it and got it imported so I could cut it out of the red faux leather that had actually come with our xTool materials pack. Carly is a pro at putting things together like this, so it was over to her for the final step.
So Tegan has done the fun part of cutting out the bows, and now I get the fiddly part of putting them together. So she assures me it's meant to be pretty simple. I've got my super glue, and I also have just a tool in case I need to hold anything down without super gluing my fingers. So let's get into constructing it. Turned out so cute. I think I'm going to try it on and I'll show you guys what it looks like and then I'll go show Tegan. I just put the bow in and it's so cute.
So whenever Christmas rocks around, I know I always like to pretty up my presents a little bit. So I think maybe we should try some papercraft and go from there.
I used the same bow file I had downloaded for the faux leather hair clip we made. The bow looked cute in the brown craft cardstock. I then remembered though that I had some red polka dot paper in the scrapbooking papers we have that we actually normally use for product photography backgrounds.
Tegan has just finished cutting all of these ones up for me, so I just got to put these together exactly how I did the leather ones. I'm going to use my super glue and this so I don't super glue my fingers together. I'm so thankful that I used this last time. Good stroke of genius there, because otherwise I 100% would have super glued my finger to the bow. So definitely try and have something, it doesn't have to be a silicone tool, but definitely try and have something that you can hold your pieces down while you glue, so that you don't glue your fingers. Okay, let's construct them. So that one did not go to plan. The cardstock I found really difficult to work with the super glue, because the super glue obviously doesn't instantly dry and the cardboard just kept wanting to spring back. Unlike the leather, which was happy just to sit where it was, and was a little bit more grippy as well. So if I was putting my tool on it, it would just grip. I also didn't really want to fold any of these, so I was trying to be really careful to make sure that they kept that nice curve. But I think what I'm going to try with this other one is I'm actually going to try, I have a hot glue gun. I do only have black glue sticks, but we're just going to have to see how we go. This is my cordless hot glue gun. Comes in super handy for little projects like this. I was working on a previous project, so I already have black glue stick loaded, but it should be fine because I don't think any of the glue will seep out. I'm hoping this will work better, so let's get into it. Well, that worked much easier than using the super glue. They're both still glued together. I did have to flatten this one a fair bit, which is going to be good for our present. This one's still got a bit of shape. I do have a little glue string in there that I need to remove, but otherwise that one did really well with the glue stick. So I would recommend, if you're using cardstock, to use a glue stick over super glue. And we have one more to go, so I'm just going to quickly pop that one together and then we can start decorating a present. Alrighty, so those ones are all done. I do have a couple of tips for when putting these ones together. First one, obviously, super glue, more difficult than hot glue gun. It doesn't matter what color your hot glue gun sticks are if you're going to be sticking them down, because I only have a little bit of black showing underneath from my messy gluing. But otherwise you can't see the color of the glue stick, which is great if you're going in between projects. And the last one I will say is, if you put hot glue down and then stick a couple of pieces and then put hot glue down again to stick more pieces, that second lot of hot glue will kind of heat up the glue that's already there and they'll spring back. So you probably saw that a couple of times. The pieces would spring off once they were already glued, just because the glue heated up again. But we got there in the end, and I have 3 very cute bows for us to decorate our gifts with.
I then put the laser back to work and made some gift tags using the wooden tags that again came with the xTool materials pack. Having the camera function so I could line them up properly made it super easy.
We made a bunch of these to from labels for gift wrapping. So all I have to do is grab some ribbon to put it on my gift and a pen to write the name on it.
So last time with the blade, you actually made a stencil.
I did, yes.
So I think that would be great for us to do a Christmas stencil to use on polymer clay, but I also like to decorate my own just brown craft paper for wrapping paper, so we'll see how it also works for use with paint.
Sounds good.
So I found a cute Christmas tree stencil file on Creative Fabrica and went back to the blade cutting function. I then popped a sheet of mylar in and got my Christmas tree file imported. It took a few minutes for the xTool to cut it out, and then we were ready to put it to use.
Alrighty, Tegan has just handed me the stencil that she's made with the Christmas trees. It's very cute. I think I'm actually going to make a bookmark out of this one because we do have a family tradition that every year at Christmas we each bring a couple of books on Christmas Day and then we trade them amongst the family. So I'm going to make the bookmark and then whoever takes one of my books gets a cute little Christmas bookmark with it. All right, let's go. I actually made this really cute Christmas decoration the other day and I really like the color scheme. So I'm going to do the same with the scraps and I'm going to use the gold mica with our stencil so that we can get the same kind of look. So I've rolled my clay out to about 1 millimeter in thickness so that it won't sit with a high profile within the book. I've got my bookmark cutter and all we have to do is roll this one on. So grab my rolling pin and roll it. This is actually a great Christmas activity that you can do with kids. Polymer clay is just bake at home, so it's really nice and simple to do at home in your own oven. And I'm going to take some of this powder. I have a little bit on the lip, so let me just clean that off. Waste not, want not. And I simply brush it on. Might need a little bit more. Still just a little bit more, just to get that bookmark area. And there we go. So now I'm just going to dust off any excess mica powder with a clean, larger brush. All right, I've just trimmed the edges off and now we can cut out with our bookmark cutter. I'm actually going to line up these trees so that they sit in the center really nicely. Alrighty, I'm going to put my hole in it for my bookmark tassel now so that I don't have to drill after it's baked. I'll just grab a little micro circle cutter tool. And now the question, do I want one in the center or off to the side? I might do off to the side just because I don't want to interrupt this tree at all. Alright, that one will pop out after baking, so let's get it in the oven. The other craft project that I wanted to do with this stencil was actually to decorate some presents with the pattern. So this is actually going to work perfectly size-wise. Now I think, should I sticky tape it? Or do I trust myself? I think I'm going to tape this one down just gently, just so that while I'm painting it, it's not going to shift at all. So I've got some little tape loops that I've made. It's only to make sure that it stays in place. So I actually don't want it to stick heavily to the paper because I don't want it to tear while I'm taking it off. So I'm just going to put it in a couple of places. I'll line up my pattern. I think there will be nice. Okay, and I've actually just got some white and a larger paintbrush, and I'm just going to like dab some paint on. So I've got a little bit in a silicone bowl. Now this would probably be way easier with a sponge, but I don't have a sponge, so I'm going to make do with a little paintbrush today. I also don't know how much paint to put on, so I'm just going to see. Okay, now I definitely think I was heavy-handed with the paint up in this corner, so I'm not expecting my first tree to be what it should be, but I think the rest of them should be pretty good. I got into a pattern at the end of far less paint, so let's peel this one off and take a look. Actually turned out great. I did get a couple of smudges here, but you know what? That lets people know that it's handmade. So we don't mind that at all. Oh, I think that turned out great. Okay, so my paint has now dried on this one. As you can see where I was a bit more heavy-handed with the paint, it is a little bit textured, and then when I got lighter with the paint, not so much. So completely up to you. They did actually turn out quite clear on both. So personal preference as to what you prefer. Now I've got our two bows. I think the red one looks really cute on here, but so does the brown one. Actually, I think I might keep it a nice minimalist look and stick with the brown and white theme. Just turn this one on. There we go. I'll wait for the second green light to come on, and then I'll just put a little dollop on the back and glue this one in.
So we have decided to take on our biggest project yet, and we are going to make an advent calendar. Wish us luck.
We found a really cool Christmas tree advent calendar and we're super excited to give it a go.
So because this is our biggest project that we've done so far, one of the things we didn't think about is that it may not potentially fit on our wooden sheets. So what we are going to do now is attempt some maths and look at recalculating the size of it so that we can fit it onto our sheets.
So I whipped out my calculator and we calculated 80% of the size of each of the tree components so that it would fit on the bed. Carla then popped in our new measurements and we got cutting.
very beat. That was super quick.
Yeah, I know.
All right, ready? Woohoo!
The first part of our Christmas tree was done and it looked great. We then tried popping the pieces together to see if we had resized it correctly.
Well, she toit, so I think next time we would actually sand it to just make it so it's a little bit easier to get in, but at least it's not going to go anywhere.
So we decided to pull the two pieces apart and just sand in the middle here a little bit so that we could slot them a bit easier together. Okay, so I've given the two pieces a little sand and we will see how they go this time. Hopefully they are a bit easier to slot together. Oh, that feels so much better. So much better.
Carla then got the Christmas tree base cut out.
You got him!
I did get it, look!
And I have the base!
Yay!
Woo!
Mum, look what we made. Oh, wow. So good. So the tree is done and assembled and it is now time to get onto doing all the boxes for it.
We then ungrouped the box files so that we could separate them to fit on our wooden sheets. The xTool got to work cutting out 24 of these boxes. Carla then got out the wood glue again and pieced them all together. After her first attempt, she actually realized it was easier to pop the glue in a bowl and apply it using a silicone tool. This helped to reduce the amount of excess glue and also sped up the process. She did such an amazing job, they turned out so good.
I've just finished gluing together the first 20 boxes. I have another 4 boxes left and they're on the laser cutter at the moment, so I'll get to them once they're off. But I do actually have our 2 Christmas tree pieces, so we can put these together. They do have the slots so that they can slot into each other, and you just want to be really careful at the top because the star is very fragile. So we want to make sure that we're lined up. Okay, we're sliding. Yep, and there we go. We've got our Christmas tree all together that the boxes sit around. Okay, I've officially finished all 24 boxes. So I have my Christmas tree that I put together before, and we have our base piece. Now this base piece is just for the Christmas tree
and boxes to sit in so that we can arrange the presents around it.
We hope you've enjoyed watching all of our festive makes today and they help inspire some of your own festive creations that you can use in the holiday season ahead.
If you did have any questions on anything in the video today, or if you had some suggestions on what you'd like to see us make next time, don't forget you can drop a comment down below and we'll get back to you. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe. It does support our channel, and of course we will see you next time.
Hang on, trying to get my wording right.
So I've just cut those, what should I say?
We did it!
Oh, I'm still filming. Testing, testing, test.
And also
Oh, hang on.
jewelry.
Do your bit again, I looked down.
Oh.